we know that R is nothing but it is R naught 1 plus AT plus BT square, and here it is given that at 0 degree centigrade resistance is 2.8 ohm and at 100 degree centigrade resistance is 3.8 ohm. If you see, so here the constants are R naught, A and B. Since we have three constants, so we need three equations, but here we have given only two reference frame at 0 degree centigrade, at 100 degree centigrade. So we can calculate only two values of the constants. So in this type of the questions, what we do basically, we eliminate the BT square terms, because the value of B will be very less as compared to this one. So its numeric value will be very less as compared to 1 and 80. So our equation reduces to R naught of 1 plus 80. So now we have to calculate R naught and A. Okay. So at 0 degree centigrade, at T equal to 0 degree centigrade, R is equal to R naught 1 plus A into T is your 0. So R will be equal to R naught, and this R is given, that is 2.8 ohm. So our R naught value is nothing but it is 2.8 ohm. Similarly, at 100 degree centigrade, R is equal to R naught. Now R naught is 2.8, 1 plus A into T. What is T? T will be 100. Now this R is given as 3.8 ohm. So this is 3.8 is equal to 2.8 of 1 plus A into 100. Once we solve this equation, then we will get A as 0.00357. Okay, it is approximate value of A. Now you have been given find the temperature when this R is nothing but it is 5.8 ohm. So put the value. So 5.8 is equal to R naught is 2.8, 1 plus A is 0.00357 T. Once we solve this, then we will get as T is equal to 300 degree centigrade, which is our answer. So the answer is 300 degree centigrade. So this type we find the equation, we solve the equation. Okay, so you make sure how many reference frame have been given. If only two reference frame will be given, then this BT square will be eliminated. Now next one is your thermocouple. What is thermocouple? Again, thermocouple is nothing but it measures the temperature with the help of thermocouple's temperature. So what will we do? We measure the thermodynamic property as EMF, and how this EMF will be generated. What is thermocouple? Thermocouple is nothing but when two dissimilar metals, one metal is this one and other metal is this one. So when these two dissimilar metals are joined and two junctions will be formed, this junction and this junction. Now at these two junctions we generate the electromotive force, that is EMF. Okay, at when two different metals will be joined in such a way that two different junctions will be formed, and at these two different junctions we find out the EMF, how much EMF is generated at these two junctions, and with the help of these two junctions EMF we find out the value of temperature by using the relation that EMF is equal to 1A plus BT plus CT square plus DT cube plus and so on, where A, B, C, D etc. will be your constant and T is your temperature. E is nothing but it is your induced EMF between the junction point. Again, since we need different constants values is. So we have to consider how many reference frame have been given, and on the basis of that we eliminate either t square or higher power of t, or we kept up to t square, then we eliminate the t cube, etc. So now see one problem, how to calculate the value of temperature with the help of this thermometer. The question is, the EMF in a thermocouple with the test junction at 0 T degree centigrade on a gas thermometer scale and reference junction at ice point. Now the reference junction is your ice point, is given by the relation epsilon or E is equal to 0.2 times T minus 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 T square, this much of millivolt, where T is your temperature in degree centigrade. This has been given. The millivolt meter is calibrated at ice and steam point. So at ice point and at steam point, this has been calibrated. What will be the thermometer reads in a place where the gas thermometer reads 50 degree centigrade? Now the gas thermometer reads 50 degree centigrade, and we have to find out how much thermocouple basically reads. Okay, so how to solve this type of question? So now see, what is the given equation is given? E is equal to, let it be E, that is the induced EMF. This is equal to 0.2 T minus 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 T square. That is 0.2 T minus 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 T square. Okay, so at ice point, what is the value of T? T will be 0. So if you see from this equation, then induced EMF will be 0 millivolt. Okay, now at steam point, what is T? T is equal to 100 degree centigrade. Okay, so E is equal to 0.2 into 100 minus 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 into 100 square. So this becomes 8.7, 0.2 into this, so multiplied, this is 20 minus, if you see, so this cancel out, so this is 5, so this becomes 15 millivolt. So induced EMF is 15 millivolt at 100 degree centigrade, that is at your steam point. Is it okay? Okay, now it is given that this thermometer reads 50 degree centigrade. Thermometer reads 50 degree centigrade. So now to check what is the induced EMF at this 50 degree centigrade. So this is 0.2 into 50 minus 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 into 50 square. Once you calculate this, so this E becomes 8.75 millivolt. So this much of EMF has been induced in thermometer. Now see, at 0 degree centigrade, induced EMF was 0. At 100 degree centigrade, the induced EMF was 15 millivolt. So at per degree centigrade, what is this one? That is 100 upon 15 millivolt. This much, 100 upon 15 is calibrated. Is that okay? So with respect to this 8.75 millivolt, how much will be the temperature? That is 100 upon 15 multiplied by 8.75 degree centigrade, and this result is nothing but it is 58.33 degree centigrade. Then the thermocouple will measure 58.33 degree centigrade. So its answer will be 58.33 degree centigrade. So thermocouple will read 58.33 degree centigrade when the gas thermometer reads 50 degree centigrade. I hope you can understand this problem. This one, that 0 degree centigrade, the induced EMF was 0 millivolt. At 100 degree centigrade, it was 15 millivolt. So per degree centigrade, how much EMF has been generated? Then this is 100 upon 15. This is this degree centigrade per millivolt. इतने degree centigrade per millivolt. Okay, this is the slope. Basically, this is nothing but it is the slope. So at 8.75 millivolt, how much will be the temperature? Obviously, multiplied by 8.75, so you will get this 58.33. This much amount of the temperature which measured by the thermocouple. Okay, so this type of the question basically asked in so many times in GATE exam, engineering services exam, everywhere this type of the question has been asked. Now next problem. This is the problem. This is again a very good problem, and it's a very important problem. This problem has been asked in GATE exam. In a new scale thermometer, he is asking about there is a one different thermometer and you have to find the temperature. So in a new scale thermometer, the steam point and the ice point is defined at 400 degree R and 100 degree R respectively. Where what is this R? This R is nothing but it is the temperature measurement at the new scale. Whatever with the new scale, let us assume it is degree R. Now, for example, in degree Kelvin we use degree Kelvin, in centigrade scale we use degree centigrade. So in this same way, the new scale thermometer we are using degree R. So the steam point and ice point are defined as 400 degree R and 100 degree R respectively. Then he was asking to find the value of the temperature corresponding to 280 R. When this new scale was measuring 280 degree R, then what will be the temperature correspondingly? That you have to find. The answer is 60 degree centigrade. So now let us assume how to solve this question. So now check it, how to solve. So we know that temperature is always being calibrated with the help of any of the thermodynamic property. So now let us assume that this temperature is directly proportional to x, where x is nothing but it is our thermodynamic property. Okay, and since we have given two reference points, that is the steam point and ice point, so we can take this T as ax plus b. Okay, and this thermodynamic property is nothing but I am here taking as it is degree R, that is the temperature in new thermodynamic scale. So ice point, what is ice point? Ice point where temperature is 0, so this 0 is equal to A. With respect to ice point, what is the temperature of this one? It is 100 degree R, 100 plus B. This is my first question. Steam point, at steam point what is the temperature? 100 is equal to A. In new thermodynamic scale is what? 400 given, 400 plus B. This is our second. Now we have to find out the value of A and B. So for this what we do, upon subtract 1 from 2. So this is 100 is equal to this cancel out, this is 300 A. So A comes to be 1 upon 3. Okay. Now put the value of A in equation B, then in equation number 1, then it is A, that is 1 upon 3 into 100 plus B. So this gives B is equal to minus 100 upon 3. So this is the value of B. So value of A is 1 upon 3 and value of B is minus 100 upon 3. Now since T is equal to AX plus B, so A is 1 upon 3, so this is 1 upon 3x and B is minus 100 upon 3. So our equation is, actually the equation reduces to 2 is equal to x by 3 minus 100 upon 3. At what x we have to measure? At 280. It is given that x as, how much x is? At 280 degree R. So T is equal to 1 upon 3 into 280 minus 100 upon 3. So this is 1 upon 3 common, 280 minus 100. 280 minus 100 is 180. 180 divided by 3, that becomes 60. So the temperature will be 60 degrees centigrade. So when the new thermodynamic will read 280 degree R, then correspondingly the temperature will be 60 degrees centigrade. So in this type of the problem, basically what we do, we consider that temperature is directly proportional to thermodynamic property, then we find out T is equal to AX plus B, and then on the basis of the given reference frame, whatever the reference frame is been given, on the basis of that reference frame we find out the value of the constant terms, that is A, B, etc., and then we find out the different values. Okay. Now see one more problem. This is again a good question. The question is given that the value of a thermodynamic property is 1.5. Any of the thermodynamic property and its value is given, that its value is 1.5 and 6.8 and 6.8. 1.5 at steam point. So 1.5 is corresponding to 0 degree centigrade because steam point is ice point is 0 degree centigrade, and any thermodynamic property 6.8, this is corresponding to steam point, that is 100 degree centigrade. Okay, so that is 0 degree centigrade and 100 degree centigrade is the steam point. We know it very well. The property is related with the given equation. Now here the equation is given that it is A times ln x plus b. Again this relation has been given, and where what is this x? This is x is nothing but it is thermodynamic property. So in this problem, basically this thermodynamic property x is calibrated with respect to temperature by the relation T is equal to A times ln x plus b. So we have to find out the temperature when this x is given as 4. Okay. So equation is given as T is equal to A times ln x plus b. This equation is given at ice point. What is x? At steam point. What is x? At ice point, what is temperature? Temperature is 0 degree centigrade. And at steam point, what is temperature? That is 100 degree centigrade. So at 0 degree centigrade it is 1.5, at 100 degree centigrade it is 6.8. 1.5 and 6.8. It is 1.5, it is 6.8, and we have to find out the temperature at x corresponding to 4. Okay, so this is the brief of this question. So 0 is equal to, now putting the values, is 0 is equal to A, what is ln x? Ln 1.5 plus b. This is our first equation. B, that is 100, is equal to A ln 6.8 plus b. This is our second equation. Now what we do, we just subtract these two equations. 2 minus 1. So what will comes? 100 is equal to A ln 6.8 minus ln 1.5. B will be cancelled out, and we know that log m upon n will be equal to log m minus log n. I hope you people know it very well. So by using this, we can find out then A becomes 100 upon ln 6.8 divided by 1.5, and the value of A becomes, now by calculating, the value of A equal to 100 upon 6.8, 66.181, 66.181 approximate value of A. Okay, now putting this value of A in the equation number 1, what is equation 1? 0 is equal to A 66.181 ln 1.5 plus B, then B becomes minus 66.181 ln 1.5, then the value of B becomes minus 66.181 ln 1.5, 26.834. So this is the value of B, 26.834. Okay, so equation is T is equal to A ln x plus B. So now we have to calculate the T when x is equal to 4. So A is 66.181 ln 4 plus B is 26.834. By putting these values, you just check it, what is the answer, find out the values. So this will give you the answer. The answer is 64.9, approximately 65 degree centigrade. So 65 degree centigrade is the temperature when the property value is 4. Okay, so here the answer will be T is equal to T is equal to 65 degrees centigrade. This will be the temperature. Okay, so it's an easy thing, only that you have to solve the simultaneous equation, and with the help of this simultaneous equation you can easily find out the values. Now one more problem. This is again, it's a very important problem. This is very important problem. Let us assume thermometer A and B. We have been given two thermometers which measures the temperature correspondingly TA and TB respectively. TA and TB. Okay, we have two thermometers are given, and these measures the temperature TA and TB. Both the thermometer are dipped in oil, and A means the first thermometer reads 51 degrees centigrade while B measures 50 degrees centigrade. Okay, and are related by the equation TA is equal to L plus M times TB plus N times TB square, where L, M, N are constant. Okay, the temperature measured by thermometer A and temperature measured by thermometer B will be related by the equation this one. This equation is given. Okay, both the thermometers are agree at ice point and steam point. Now what does it mean that both the thermometers are agree at ice point and steam point? This is an important one. Both the thermometers are agree at ice point and steam point respectively. We know that the ice point and steam point are correspondingly 0 degree centigrade and 100 degree centigrade. So we have to find out the temperature measured by thermocouple A when it is measured by B is 25 degree centigrade. Okay, so we have to find out what is the value of TA when TB is given as 25 degree centigrade. Okay, so now see how to solve this question. The temperature measured by A and B are given by the equation TA is equal to L plus M times TB plus N times TB square. This is given where L, M, N are constant. At ice point, what is the value of, and it is given that at ice point and steam point both the thermocouple thermometer A and B are agreeing. Agreeing means that both are measuring the same temperature, means TA is equal to TB, TA equal to TB, and this value will be 0 degree centigrade because at ice point. Similarly, at steam point what will happen? Again both are agreeing. So when both will be agreed, then TA equal to TB, and this value will be 100 degree centigrade. One more question is relation is given that when TA measures 51 degree centigrade, then TB measures 50 degree centigrade. So when TA is equal to 51 degree centigrade, then TB at that point, TB is equal to 50 degree centigrade. This is given, and we have to find out the TA when TB is equal to 25 degree centigrade. Okay. So we have given three boundary conditions. These three boundary conditions. Why three boundary conditions have been given? Because we are three unknowns, L, M, and N. So for three unknowns, we need three boundary conditions, and we have been given these three boundary conditions. So now first at ice point. Ice point TA and TB both will be 0, then put the value of TA and TB here in this equation. Then 0 is equal to L plus M times 0 plus N times 0 square. This shows that L must be 0. So from first equation we get L is equal to 0. So equation now reduces to TA is equal to M times TB plus N times TB square. Now TA and TB both are 100 degree centigrade. So 100 is equal to M times 100 plus N times 100 square. So if we check this, divide by 100, so 1 is equal to M plus 100N. This is our first equation. Now again the equation says that the value of TA will be 51 when TB is equal to 50 degree centigrade. So 51, TA is 51, that when TB is 50, N times 50 square. So this becomes 51 is equal to 50 times of N plus 2500 N. This is our second equation. Now we have to solve the equation 1 and 2 for M and N. So for that what we do, we multiply the first equation by 50 and then subtract it. So we are doing 2 minus 50 times first equation. Basically we are doing this. So we get 51 minus 50, that is 1, is equal to, here it is 50M minus 50M, that will be cancelled out. This is 2500 and this is 50. So 2500 N minus 50 multiplied by 100. So 50 into 100 N. So this is 5,000 and this, so N becomes minus 1 upon 2500. This is the value of N. N becomes minus 1 upon 2500. So one equation is 1 is equal to, now check the equation number 1 is equal to M plus 100N. 1 is equal to M plus 100N, putting the value of N, so 1 M plus 100, and what is N? Minus 1 upon 2500. So this 0 cancel out. So what is M? M is nothing but it is 1 plus 1 upon 25. This becomes 26 upon 25, that is 1.04. So m is equal to 1.04 and n is equal to minus 1 upon 2500. So equation reduces to m times, that is 1.04 times TB, plus n is minus 1 upon 2500 and TB square. This is the equation. Now up TB is equal to 25. So 1.04 multiplied by 25 minus 2500, 25 square is 625. So TA becomes, once you solve this becomes 25.75 degrees centigrade. So temperature of A will be 25.75 degrees centigrade when B measures 25 degree centigrade. So this is your answer, and this is very good question. The most important thing in this question is that both TA and TB agrees at ice point and steam point. When they are agreeing at ice point and steam point, it means the temperature measured by A and B will be same. This you have to remember. Okay, this was a good question. Now one more problem. Now discuss one more problem. The question says that a new scale, again a new scale means there is a scale which measures some different thermodynamic property x, a new scale x of temperature divided in such a way that the freezing point of ice is 110 degree x, okay, and its boiling point is 450 x. The freezing point is 110 degree and boiling point is 450. At what temperature both the Celsius and new temperature scale reading will be same? Okay, so freezing point is 110 and boiling point is 450 x. Now the first we note it. Ice point 110 degree x and steam point, a boiling point is 450 x. This is for x. Okay, now since we know that temperature is directly proportional to any of thermodynamic property, we have already discussed this thing. So temperature will be equal to A times of x plus B. So at steam point it is 0 is equal to A. What is the value of x? 110 plus B. At steam point what is the value of T? That is 100 degrees Celsius. This becomes A, x is 450 plus B. Now subtracting these two, now let us assume this is our equation 1, this is equation number 2. So now we are doing 2 minus 1. So 100 is equal to this minus this, B will be cancelled out, then 450 minus 110, 450 minus 110 times of A. So this gives A is equal to 100 upon 450 minus 3, that is, this becomes 340. So A becomes 10 upon 34. This is the value of A. Now put the value of A in equation number 1, then T is equal, in equation number 1. So 0 is equal to A is 10 upon 34, may be written as 5 by 17 also. So this is 5 by 17 into 110 plus B. So B becomes minus 550 upon 17. This is the value of B. B is minus 550 upon 17. A is, this is the value of A, that is 5 upon 17. Okay. So now T is equal to AX plus B. So what is the value of A? What was A? A is 5 upon 17 and B is minus 550 upon 17. So A is 5 upon 17 x minus 550 upon 17 is your B. This is T. Now the question says at what temperature both T and X will be same. So when T and X will be same, so now take the same value. So T is equal to 5 upon 17 X is equal upon T minus 550 upon 17 multiplied by 17. So this is 17T is equal to 5T minus 550. So this becomes 12T is equal to minus 550. So T becomes minus 550 divided by 12, or this becomes minus 45.83 degrees centigrade. So minus 45.83 degrees centigrade at this temperature, both the degree Celsius and X will measure the same temperature. So this is the value. So the only thing is that we have to take that temperature is varying with respect to X or any thermodynamic property by linear variation, that T is equal to AX plus B, as we have told in before 1954 the temperature will be measured with the help of thermodynamic property. Okay. Now next topic is your pressure. Now the temperature is completed. So in the temperature, what we have discussed, in temperature we basically measure the thermodynamic property, and with the help of that thermodynamic property we always measure the temperature. The next thermodynamic important property is your pressure, and once the temperature and pressure will be known to us, then we can define the thermodynamic property with the help of Gibbs rule that we will discuss later on. Now first is now pressure. So what is the pressure? Pressure is nothing but it is the force exerted, normal force exerted to any surface. Now suppose if this is your surface, then if we consider this particular area, then the force normal to that surface, what is the value of the normal force exerted? So this force per unit area is known as force divided by area. If suppose this small area is taking as dA, this small area is dA, and Fn is nothing but it is the normal force exerted to this pressure, then dFn, and we take the limit dA tending to 0, means this value of this pressure area is very less. So this becomes your pressure. So pressure is nothing but it is the normal force exerted to a particular area, and the area is very less. It tends to 0. It is not equal to 0. It tends to 0. Then this is your pressure. So what is the unit of pressure? What is the unit of pressure? So this is Newton divided by meter square. The unit of pressure is Newton per meter square. So pressure is nothing but it is force per unit area, that is normal force per unit area, and we considered a very small area subjected to condition that dA tends to 0. So pressure becomes Fn divided by area, that is Newton per meter square. Is it okay? General unit of pressure unit is basically atmosphere or bar. So 1 atmospheric pressure is nothing but it is 10 raised to the power 5 Newton per meter square, or 1.013 bar. 1 atmosphere is generally. So we generally take 1.013 bar as 1 bar. Most of the cases 1 atmosphere is 1 bar, and 1 bar is nothing but it is 10 raised to the power 5 Newton per meter square. Now what is the pressure? We consider any reference pressure. Suppose this is our reference line, and we assume that the pressure at this reference line is equal to 0. Okay, and this is the line where it is the atmospheric pressure. So distance between these two is nothing but it is the P atmospheric pressure. Okay, So if we always measure the pressure with the help of the gauge, so if the gauge pressure is positive, gauge pressure is positive, then atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure will give you the absolute pressure. Absolute pressure. Always remember one thing, P absolute, sorry, P absolute, this is absolute pressure, is always equal to P gauge plus P atmospheric. This is absolute pressure, this is atmospheric pressure. So when gauge pressure is positive, now gauge pressure I am signifying as Pg. So when gauge pressure is positive, and positive gauge pressure is there, then obviously P absolute will be greater than to P atmospheric, that is greater than 1 bar. Absolute pressure, that is the above the atmospheric pressure. While in case when gauge pressure is negative, when gauge pressure is negative, so it is also known as vacuum pressure. Vacuum pressure. Then in this case, P absolute, obviously P absolute is equal to P atmospheric minus some negative number, that is P atmospheric, minus some number, that is P gauge. Okay, so P absolute will be less than to P atmospheric pressure, that is less than to 1 bar. So what does it mean? That when absolute pressure is less than to atmospheric pressure, then there is a vacuum will be generated. So when the vacuum will be generated, when the absolute pressure value will be less than to atmospheric pressure, and in the vacuum pressure time, the gauge pressure value will always be a negative number. While in case when absolute pressure is more than the atmospheric pressure, then the gauge pressure will be positive. As you see in this figure, this is your atmospheric pressure, this is our reference line, with the reference of that we are measuring. When the gauge pressure is positive, then atmospheric pressure, when the gauge pressure is positive, then atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure, this will constitute as absolute pressure. This line shows the absolute pressure. Okay, when the gauge pressure is negative, means this one below the atmospheric pressure, then this is our absolute pressure, P absolute. Now, so the P absolute is less than to P atmospheric because our gauge pressure is negative, that is, it is the vacuum. So this much of the vacuum is being created. Okay, so this is the figure with respect to the pressure. So this is all about your pressure and temperature, okay, how to calculate the pressure and temperature. One more thing important is Gibbs phase rule. Now write down Gibbs phase rule. What is the significance of Gibbs phase rule? Gibbs phase rule basically tells us about how much, what is the degree of freedom of any system. Degree of freedom. Degree of freedom. And what is the meaning of degree of freedom? Means number of independent variables required for fixing the state of a system. Okay, how much independent variables are required for fixing any of the state. So Gibbs phase rule basically P plus F is equal to C plus N. This is the general rule, Gibbs phase rule, where what is P? This is number of phase in which the constituents are under equilibrium. F is degree of freedom, let it be write as DOF. DOF is the degree of freedom. What is C? C is number of constituents. and in n is the thermodynamic property. In thermodynamics, in thermodynamics, in thermodynamics, we take n as equal to 2 because we consider pressure and temperature are independent variables, and with the help of these two we find it out. So for thermodynamics, P plus F is equal to C plus 2. This is our Gibbs phase rule. P plus F is equal to C plus 2. Now see, with the help of P plus F is equal to C plus 2. Now at at triple point, let us assume at triple point of water, at triple point of water, at triple point of water, what happens? At triple point, what is the phase? Water exists in all the three phases, that is solid, liquid as well as in gas. So total phase of the water will be 3. How much degree of freedom means how many number of the independent variables required to define that, we have to find it out. Number of constituents, what are the number of the constituents? Water 2, that is the steam and boiling, that is ice and boiling, that is 1 and 2, and 2 is your 2. So F will becomes 2 plus 2 minus 3. Constituent basically in liquid as in solid and in gas. So 2 constituents are there. So 2 plus 2 minus 3. So this is 4 minus 3. So F becomes 1. So at triple point of water, only 1 is your degree of freedom. Means by the help of only one independent variable, we can define the state of any thermodynamic system. Similarly, for anything, we uses the Gibbs phase rule, that is P plus F is equal to C plus N, or for thermodynamics it is P plus F is equal to C plus 2. So with the help of these two, we can easily find out what are the how many number of the degree of freedom is required for defining a particular state of the thermodynamic. Okay, thank you.